was always the quiet one. Growing up in Greenville, South Carolina, in the shadow of my younger sister Ava was like living in a world where the sun only shined on her. She had the kind of natural charisma that made strangers smile and friends cling to her like bees to sugar. She could walk into a room and make it feel like spring. Me? I was the background. The breeze no one noticed. The one who blended into the wallpaper at family gatherings and weddings and school events. Not that I ever resented it, at least not at first. We were only 2 years apart, but we might as well have come from different planets. Ava was the cheer captain, prom queen, and the kind of girl who always had someone offering to carry her books or bring her coffee. I was the AP student who worked part-time at the library and tutored calculus for $10 an hour. My parents loved us both. They said so often, but if love could be weighed, Ava's name would have tipped the scales every time. After college, I got a job in finance. Nothing glamorous, just back office work at a local credit union. It wasn't flashy, but it paid the bills. Ava, on the other hand, got a modeling contract in Atlanta and was whisked into a world of filters and followers, dates with men in tailored suits, and photo shoots in boutique hotels. It was fast, glamorous, and unstable, but Ava always landed on her feet. Or so we thought. I lived modestly. I rented a 1-bedroom apartment in Spartanburg, drove a secondhand Honda Civic, and brought homemade lunches to work. Ava floated in and out of our parents' house, bouncing from boyfriends to luxury condos to networking retreats in Miami. My mother never questioned how she afforded it all. My father believed she was just lucky, or blessed, as he liked to say. But I saw things, little cracks. It started the day I opened Ava's email. She had left her Gmail logged in on my laptop after borrowing it to upload photos. I hadn't meant to pry, but a subject line caught my eye: payment request, urgent. The sender was someone named Marcus J. I clicked on it. It was a demand for $7,500 with vague threats about what happens if things go public. At first, I thought it was spam, but then I saw dozens of similar emails. Rent due, investments gone bad, credit card debt, bounced checks. Ava was hemorrhaging money. I didn't say anything right away. I thought maybe she was just in a rough patch, maybe modeling was drying up, maybe she just needed time. But then our mom called one night in tears. Ava had asked to borrow $10,000. She said it's for a business investment, Mom said, voice trembling. She promised she'd pay it back in 2 months. I told her not to do it. I begged her, but she did it anyway. And then a month later, it was $1,000 more. Then $2,000 for a car repair. Then $1,200 for a flight to New York. Every time, Ava had an excuse. And every time, our parents opened their wallets. When I voiced concern, my mom told me, "Lottie, don't be bitter. Ava just needs help. She's going through something you wouldn't understand." That was the moment the word started following me like a curse. Jealous. My father said it when I asked why Ava never paid anything back. "You've always been envious, Charlotte. Maybe try supporting your sister for once." My aunt whispered it at Thanksgiving when Ava showed up 2 hours late wearing a dress that probably cost more than my rent. Poor Lottie. Always the jealous one. Even Ava threw it in my face once during a heated argument. "You hate that I have a life people care about, that I'm not boring like you." Boring. Jealous. Bitter. But I had one thing Ava didn't. I had patience, and I had access. Working in banking teaches you how to follow money. It was unethical. I know that. I wasn't supposed to look into her accounts, even if she was family. But when you see your parents draining their retirement savings for a daughter who's spending $600 on champagne brunches, you stop caring about red tape. What I found made my stomach drop. Ava had opened 3 accounts under her name and 1 under a shell LLC, Silver and Rose Consulting. There were deposits from strange names I didn't recognize, amounts like $1, $500, $2, $200, $800 every couple of days. But then came the real horror, the outgoing transfers, hundreds of payments to usernames and aliases. some labeled as entertainment services, some just strings of initials. The money was flowing fast, and it was dirty. The breaking point came when our father called me one night, furious. "Why are you poisoning the family against your sister? Ava says you've been spreading lies about her being broke." Lies? Lies? I couldn't take it anymore. I printed the transfers. All of them. 2 years worth. I printed emails, screenshots, bank statements, and I waited. Christmas morning, 2023. Everyone was gathered at the house, tree lit, cinnamon rolls in the oven, Ava dressed in a velvet red gown, sipping wine like she was royalty. She had just handed our mother a gift, a framed photo of the two of them with the caption "Besties Forever" engraved. Everyone applauded like she'd handed over the moon. That's when I stood up. "I have a gift too," I said, pulling out a manila envelope. My voice was calm. I wasn't shaking. I wasn't crying. I was done being the background. "What's that, Charlotte?" my father asked, frowning. "Proof of everything you refuse to believe." I handed it to him and sat back down. It took about 5 minutes for the silence to settle over the room like a cold front. Ava's face went from confusion to panic to rage. "What is this?" my mother whispered. "You paid her rent for the last 2 years," I said. "You drained your savings. She told you she was building a business, but she was using your money and strangers' money to fund a lifestyle she couldn't afford. Designer bags, fake brand deals, escorts, all of it. I traced every dollar." Ava lunged toward me. "You went through my accounts? You stole from your own family," I shot back. "Don't you dare pretend to be the victim." My father didn't speak. He just stared at the papers like they were written in blood. My mother started sobbing. And Ava, the golden girl, the queen of smiles, didn't say another word. She just grabbed her purse and walked out. We didn't hear from her for weeks. The aftermath wasn't clean. There were arguments, silences, nights where I sat alone in my apartment wondering if I had destroyed my family. But then something strange happened. They started thanking me. Quietly at first. My mom sent me a message a month later. "I'm sorry." I didn't want to believe it. "Thank you for protecting us." My dad invited me over for dinner and asked about my job. For the first time in years, he called me smart. Not bitter, not jealous, just smart. Ava eventually came back, not with apologies, but with explanations. Therapy, detox, some soul searching. I hope she means it. I don't wish her pain, but I won't protect her from consequences either. I used to think silence was the safest place to live, that letting Ava shine meant I was being a good sister. But I've learned that love without truth is just enabling, and sometimes the jealous one is the only one willing to see things clearly.